Hey guys, this is Cameron with Emerson House Buyers. Welcome. A video series where we just talk about real estate and what's going well, what's working, what's worked for myself and Emerson, my real estate company. We had a great question in response to the last video. It is asking about, you do a video about your marketing strategies. Who do you target? How many times do you hit the list? What's your average response rate? Do you use bandit signs, Facebook ads, Google ads, or any other marketing strategy? So there's several different pieces there. I'm going to break it down, but this is a good question because I've talked a lot about financing deals, having little money out of pocket to get deals, how powerful real estate can be. But now you guys are kind of wondering, well, where are these deals? How do I get these deals? So this is perfect segue into the next piece here. And like I said, let me break this down individually. So first of all, marketing strategies. So my marketing strategy personally, this varies by region. I guarantee this might not work in some other areas, but for Houston, where I'm at, I chose an area to farm, meaning to market to, that had a great school district. And here that's Katy ISD. And I chose an area that was really close to me so that I could drive. I lived in the area. I knew the market pretty well. So that allowed me, I'd say, a competitive advantage, right? It allowed me to be in the area frequently, to be familiar with it, to, like I said, have that competitive advantage over somebody else who's buying out of state or is not really that familiar with the area. When I'm living in the area, you got a pretty good gauge on it. And like I said, I chose Katy ISD because it's a very prominent and well-respected school district in Houston, so West Houston. So that was an area that I wanted to farm. And then the strategy in that wasn't anything fancy. Absentee landlords. So I targeted absentee owners in three, I think it was 2 or 3 zip codes when I first started, and I think still it's now 3. And I just mail to absentee owners. So I do direct mail to absentee owners. I've done a yellow letter and a white letter. I can get into more details on some of this in another video, but just to sake of time and to answer all the questions, we'll just lightly cover some of this. If you guys want to dive into more details, just respond to the video. I'll be happy to go into more details into anything. So yellow letters, white letters to absentee landlords. That covers who do you target. How many times do you target the same list? So how many times do you target the list until it stops working? I mean, fact of the matter is, if you're getting deals from it, why stop? Don't try to reinvent the wheel. If you're getting deals, the list looks good, don't stop. When you start seeing that taper off, when you're measuring your metrics, the response rate, your calls to a deal, calls to a walkthrough, and then walkthroughs to a deal, and you see that start to taper off, then in your phone calls, the number of phone calls start to taper off, and then you got to do something. I've heard anywhere from 6 to 8, 12 months. I would not stop mailing until it didn't work. When it stopped working, stop mailing. What's your average response rate? So I have my spreadsheet open here. The average response rate, like I said, I've done 2. I've done direct mail and bandits. So that was another question. Do you use bandits? Yes. Well, I did. So some of the numbers told me to get away from bandit signs, that they weren't working as well as they had. There was a lot of people getting into real estate. Bandits is a very low barrier to entry. So it is just getting flooded. So I don't do bandits right now. As of right now, I don't do bandits, but I did. Back to the response rate question. So I'm looking here at my letters. It takes me a little over 300 between, right now the average is 315 letters to get a call. And then those calls, it takes me a little over 6 calls to go to a visit, to get a visit to the house. And then it takes me about 2 visits to get a deal. So every 2 visits, I'm getting a deal. And that's kind of what you guys want to see when you're tracking your numbers. Just have some idea of that. So 315 letters to get a phone call, a little over six calls to do a walkthrough, and then about 2 walkthroughs to get a deal. That's for letters. Bandit signs. Bandit signs, when I did do them, we were looking at a response rate of about 6%, 5 to 6%. A lot higher response rate than the letters, however, a lot less qualified leads. So it would take me, let's just pull it up over here, 20 signs to get a call. So you didn't have to put out Vinny to get a call. But it was 700 signs, over 700 signs to a deal. Calls to a visit, it was about seven calls to get a visit, and then about 6 calls to a deal, and then about 6 visits to a deal. So actually going to the house, and then calls to a deal was about 38. So like I said before, when you start doing the analysis, you're taking 38 phone calls to get one deal on bandit signs, and they're illegal, which is a whole other topic in itself. Whereas, the calls to get a deal on a yellow letter are significantly less. But yes, so response rate for yellow letters is less than 1% for me in my white letter. But I'm in a very targeted area, and the leads are a lot more qualified. So you're not getting as many phone calls, but the phone calls you are getting are a lot more profitable. Do you do any Facebook ads or Google ads? No. So something I would say, or any other, or in the last pieces, or any other marketing strategies. So I have a website, but I use that sheerly as a way to legitimize the business, to say, yeah, we are a real company. Go to the website, check us out. Look at the FAQs, the frequently asked questions. I don't do much driving to the website and lead capture, Google ads, Facebook ads. I don't do any of that. I know people that do. I just don't have the system in place to set up to be able to capture and monetize those leads. So I don't have some sort of system set up to do that, to make it profitable. Because if you're getting leads to the website and you're not checking it, then it's just wasted money. So I hope that answers all the questions on that. I do want to kind of go back and talk about, so we did mention my marketing strategies, direct mail and bandits. But you guys might be wondering, well, what else is there? Are those the only things? So I made a list of some of the other ways to get a deal. So you can use wholesalers. If you guys don't know what wholesalers are, they're basically just people who go out, they lock up a property at a discount and sell it to a cash buyer or somebody using hard money. And they typically do it at a discount. They should be doing a discount. Some wholesalers are kind of shady. So do your own due diligence. But if you get a good wholesaler that can go out and do all the marketing and bring you the deal, and you got the money to close on it, it's fantastic. So wholesalers, driving for dollars. So just driving around a neighborhood, looking at some dilapidated houses or houses with really high grass. Find out, write the address down, go to the tax appraisal district, find the owner, send them a letter, or call, see if you can find their number. Use some of the search engines to the reverse call websites to find their phone number, give them a call, ask them about what the property, what you can do if they're in the market to sell it. Eviction records, never done that. Craigslist, so you can peruse Craigslist, see if you can find some deals on there. Auctions, so foreclosure auctions, tax lien auctions, those are also areas. They're done once a month-ish. I'm not that familiar with the tax liens. I know the foreclosure auction's the first Tuesday of every month in Harris County. I know it's extremely competitive. Networking, so networking is another one. So going out to some of the real estate meetups, go out, meet people, mingle. Somebody might say, man, I just need some money for the deal. I got a great deal, and boom, there you go. Or, man, I just really need somebody who knows Katie or some other area that you happen to know really well and has some boots on the ground, and you might be able to help them out. You guys can get together and do a deal. Another one is MLS. So just get MLS access, or get some realtors together to farm MLS for you, looking for deals. Did that for a little while, didn't find anything. Just my area. I did it for a little while. I know there are people that do it. I'm not saying it's not possible. I just haven't done it. And then the last two that I have done are bandit signs and direct mail. So those are your options. Wholesalers, drive for dollars, eviction records, Craigslist ads, auctions, networking with other investors, MLS, bandit signs, direct mail. So my experience comes in bandit signs and direct mail. I'm not saying that some of those aren't profitable for people. They might be even more profitable than what I'm doing. I just know what has worked for me, and what is working right now for me. The other thing I want to mention really quickly, talk about marketing strategy. It doesn't matter which one of these you do, as long as you do it consistently. So if you dabble in bandit signs and say they don't work, you dabble in direct mail, you say it doesn't work, you dabble in networking, you say it doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. You go to the courthouse every now and then, try to go to an auction. Whatever you do it consistently, become an expert at it. Find the competitive advantage. If you don't, then somebody else who's out there working and does bandit signs and only does bandit signs, they're going to get more leads and more deals than you. So pick my personal opinion. I did bandit signs and direct mail when I first started. Bandit signs were more profitable than direct mail, so I stopped direct mail and focused on bandit signs. Now the tables have turned. So I stopped bandit signs and now I'm just strictly doing direct mail. You got to just keep track of your numbers, see what your response rates are, your deal flow is, your cost to get a deal, and then go from there. But focus on one thing at a time. Master one thing and then move on to the next. Don't try to do all these at once. I've tried it. It's really difficult. You don't have the hours in the day. Focus and become an expert in one of those. So if I was going to say a marketing strategy, it would just be pick one and do it. And then measure your response rate. Your leads are going to tell you. If there are people doing deals in your area and you're not getting the leads, there's something wrong with you. There's not something wrong with the marketing. So make sure that you're measuring your numbers. If you don't have any numbers to go off of and to measure, you're wasting your time. If you're not going to keep a spreadsheet and keep track of your numbers, don't even bother marketing, because you will waste your time. That's how you get feedback. Your sellers and your clients are your feedback. If they're dropping out at a certain point, that means that part of the process isn't sound. So just let them. They're going to tell you what you need to do better. There's a couple other questions in here. I'm going to save it for another video about leads and how you capture those. So I hope this answered your questions about marketing strategy. There's several in here. I know I touched on a lot of touch points. If you guys have more questions about details about this, please respond to the video below. Just write a comment. Hey, I'd really like to know a little bit more about your white letter or your yellow letter, or what that is, or what your numbers, go in a little bit more detail about your numbers, whatever you want to know. Just put it down below. I can only tell you what I've done. I don't know everything. I just know what's worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. So take it, what I say, with a grain of salt, in the fact that it's market focused. I'm in Katy, Texas, and that's where I market, and that's where I'm doing deals. So bandit signs might work in your area. Don't know. But you got to test it. You got to have the numbers to back it up. Like I say, guys, hope this helped. Again, respond. Let's keep this feedback going. It's fantastic. I love giving the feedback. I love sharing. And I love the comments. So keep it up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.